Coming to you from Los Angeles, Topanga Canyon, in this gorgeous place that I used to go during my hardest moments when, quite frankly, living life felt like a living hell. Many years ago, I lived here in LA in Topanga Canyon with Jason, and it was a really difficult time of my life because I was moving out of Mendocino, the Redwoods, where I had lived in solitude, and integrating back into the city was really hard, coming back into LA. So I used to come to this state park. I'm actually going to show you the tree that I used to go to and just sit and weep and meditate and talk to the tree and let it all out to heal my life. This is really magical, actually, coming back here 10 years later and feeling how I feel today and remembering the girl I was 10 years ago and just wanting to whisper to that version of myself and let her know, like, it's okay, it's gonna be great, just keep going. Actually, in this field, I shot a video called Spiritual Relationship. I don't know if you guys ever saw that one. I used to come here a lot in my hardest, most difficult moments. Look how beautiful. And it was a saving grace. And I actually want to talk to you today about grace, because I had tried everything at that time to feel better. I had all the tools. I had a master's in spiritual psychology. I had look at this light. Sorry, you guys, but like, do you see that magic? Oh my God, it's so beautiful. I had a lot of tools and I was using those tools and I was applying so much will. And to be quite honest, I didn't really want to live. I was going through so much pain and turmoil, which I'm writing about right now in my second book. And nothing I was doing was resolving one of my biggest issues, which actually was around relationship. It was fear of distrust in partnership, that sort of thing. And the pain was so deep that the triggers I was facing again and again and again in my relationship with Jason at the time, they just were endless, and it was nonstop. As beautiful as our relationship was and is, I couldn't get past the trauma and the pain that was in my body from God knows where. And I had tried everything. I mean, literally every tool in the book, every healer, every process, my own process, the diamond process. And I couldn't mend whatever was wounded or like wide open inside of me that felt so incredibly raw. And I'll never forget, in one of my darkest moments, waking up in the morning and not wanting to live. I didn't want to be here. I was contemplating how I was going to leave this earth. And I'm sorry if this is a little too much information for some of you, but for some of you, you're going to need to hear this, and that's why I'm sharing this. Whether you've had suicidal thoughts or just really dark thoughts and triggers, this is going to be relevant, what I'm sharing with you. And it was very unexpected to actually experience that again in LA after I thought I had healed everything in the Redwoods. And what I did was I confessed to Jason one morning, like, I'm contemplating and kind of romanticizing what it would be like to leave this earth. And he was like, I'll leave it in the book what happened. That was like one of the most profound experiences I've ever had when I shared that with him. But what I did after that is I reached out to my 3 allies, my 3 spiritual guides, teachers, healers, who I knew would be in a vibration high enough to hold me. And I'll never forget sending an email to Satguru Shankaracharya, who lives in Boulder, and sharing, confessing that I didn't want to be on this earth anymore. And his response, all 3 of them responded differently, but equally valuable. And his response was, you've been putting a lot of will into your healing. And he said it in very different words, but my interpretation was, you've been putting a lot of willpower into your healing. Transformation requires 2 wings, not just one. Will is one wing of the bird, but there are 2 wings of the bird, will and grace. You've got to turn it over to something bigger than you and your own effort. You've got to turn it over to something greater. You've got to throw it at the mother's feet, because we're on the path of the Divine Mother, on the yogic path. But for you, it might be God, source, loving intelligence, the trees, nature. It could be really anything. It might be Yeshua the Christ or Allah or whoever your God is. It's throwing it at the feet, laying it down, surrendering to grace, asking for grace. Both will, effort, and grace, surrender, are required for full transformation. And I share this with you because likely you are, or possibly you are, trying really hard using all the personal development tools and all the spiritual tools in the book to shift your life, to transform, to feel good, to awaken into a higher level of consciousness, to repair something that feels irreparable inside of your own heart or soul or relationship or finances or whatever it may be for you. Health. And if you have tried everything and it's not working, my question to you is, have you ever surrendered? Have you ever had a ritual, a daily ritual, where you turn it over to something bigger than you? I was just on the phone with a client, and she said she's going through something that's big and she's terrified, and it's triggering a story that she hasn't been able to not buy into. And I said, you've done a lot of work, you're doing all the tools, you're doing all the work. What is the quality that you want to embody no matter what? When the trigger comes up, when life challenges you, or when life is easy and beautiful, what do you want to feel? What's your North Star quality that guides your life? And instantly she said, peace. I said, great. Peace. Lay it down at God's feet, at Source's feet, at the Divine Mother's feet, and declare, I choose to be an instrument of peace regardless of what is happening in my life. I declare that I embody peace on this earth no matter what. Declare it again and again and again, and lay the burden at something bigger than you's feet, the universe, source, nature, whatever it is for you. And for me, I resisted that because that felt too easy. And I will tell you that when I took that guidance, I drove straight to Mendocino for a visit when I was waking up with those suicidal thoughts. This is 9 or 10 years ago. And I started doing deep, profound rituals at a tree, like praying and calling on grace. Please, I cast this burden. I lay this at your feet. Help me transform, help me heal, whatever it was that I was praying for at the time. Help me trust. I had no trust. I still struggle with trust sometimes, but back then it was debilitating level of distrust. And that night, I think it was my third or fourth night of every single day going out in nature and laying it at the universe's feet, at God's feet, praying for grace to help me to heal, to liberate, to transform, to rise in consciousness. And I'm not going to share the actual experience. I'm writing it right now in my memoir, but I will say that a miracle happened for me. That fourth night, or it might have been the fifth night, right before I was coming back to LA. And it was something I never could have expected, never could have done with my own willpower. And I know that it was grace responding. And it was a healing that was irreversible. It was a transformation, a shift in consciousness that happened for me at 4 o'clock in the morning one night. I share this with you because praying for grace and willpower together is the magic recipe for transformation. Maybe you're somebody who has a powerful prayer practice. Maybe you're somebody who believes in something greater than you and is incessantly turning it over to something bigger than you. But you don't take action. You don't do the work. You don't do the inner work. You expect, a savior to come or like something to shift your life, and you're wondering why that's not working. That's equally important to embody both wings of the bird. A bird with one wing, it just spins. It spins in circles. A bird with both wings, will and grace, flies as high as she can. Are you doing all the inner work? Doing everything you can, trying to do it all yourself, but you never turn it over to something bigger than you. You don't pray, you don't lay it at the feet of God, source, loving intelligence, universe, and ask for support, because that's how the universe works. You have to ask and it is given. Clearly visualize, ask, declare it. Or have you been doing that and not taking any action? Which wing of the bird is stronger for you, will or grace? Will or grace? And are you open to strengthening the wing that is weaker right now, and have the patience and the diligence and the trust to test it as an experiment? Notice what happens. If you have all the willpower in the world and all the tools, and you've been doing that like crazy, and you're like, I don't know how to turn it over to the universe. A simple way that I was doing it is I literally got a pine cone that I held in my heart, and I blew all my prayers into it, and I had it in my sacred space in Mendocino for those few days. And I'd sit in meditation and I would pray and I would talk to God, source, loving intelligence, the universe, and I would just confess it all. This is what I'm struggling with. I need your help. I don't know how to do this. I don't even know how to pray. Show me how. Show me the way. Relieve this burden from me. Free me from this imprisonment, from this pain. On the other hand, if you already have that really powerful and you're like, inner work, I don't know how to do that. What do I do? How do I heal? Do the shadow work. Pick up the Diamond Process book. Go through the steps. Actually whip out your yoga mat and go through the 7 steps of the Diamond Process. Do the medicinal dialogue, swap seats. It's a whole process. Maybe you have a teacher or a healer or somebody you call upon to support you, a coach, and do the inner work. Heal. Look at what's in your shadow. Instead of, blaming or others or shaming yourself, become present. Feel what you feel. Deepen in presence, and actually every video on this channel pretty much guides you in that, so you can check out the channel. So really, clearly, simply, which wing is stronger for you? And I'll tell you a little miracle that happened today. Right after my session with my client, I'm telling you, within an hour and a half, I went into an appointment. I came out of the appointment, and I kid you not, the word peace was graffitied on the wall. And I emailed it to her, and I was like, I kid you not, right after you declared your word is peace, and that this is what you declare that you choose to embody to break through this pattern. It was graffitied on the wall. Like, it was right there. I actually passed it minutes after our session. I just didn't see it until I went back to my car. So the universe hears you, it hears us. Your declarations are powerful. And just know that you're never alone. You're so deeply loved. And my prayer is that this video supports you in trusting the power of your own heart, of your own intentions, and that there's something much greater than our own willpower that is holding you through everything that you're going through. And remember, diamonds aren't born out of like ease and grace. They are born under heat and pressure, right? So the heat and pressure struggle, whatever you may be going through right now, may you trust that it is turning you into a diamond. All right, my friends, I love you with all my heart. I hope that you are enjoying these beautiful times on our earth, struggles, ease, grace, trekking through the wild jungle of life. If you got something from this video, give it a thumbs up. Oh, most important, I'm taking you to my tree. What am I thinking? Wait till you see this, you guys. So this is the place that I used to go in my darkest hours over and over again. And there were so many miracles that happen. Nature, she really wants to get intimate. Oh, okay, you ready? If nothing else, Come out into nature. Let her work her magic on you. And all you need to do if you want to court grace, surrender by laying under a tree, by enjoying time on our earth, feet bare, hand to bark, soul to sunshine, and just take it in, breathe it in. Remember, remember, remember that you don't have to do it all yourself. You're not here to do it all yourself. This tree helped me heal through the hardest times. And I promise you, if you don't know where to start, with surrender or with the inner work, coming out into nature actually is like both wings of the bird. Tell the trees, hug the trees, like just write in your journal under a tree, whatever you need to do to get what's deeply buried inside of you out, to make space so that you can actually see that this is heaven on earth. Even through everything that's going on right now on our planet, there's a hidden world within the one that we see on the surface, that it requires deepening in presence to actually see it. And I think nature is one of the best supports for finding what we're really looking for.